Hello everyone, this is Simple Math for you, and today we are going to revise some selected lessons, and it will be our final revision. We will choose some lessons for revision because they are important lessons, and we will use them in the coming lessons and the coming classes إن شاء الله. أهلا بكم في قناتكم Simple Math for you، واليوم سنبدأ بالمراجعة النهائية لبعض الدروس المختارة، واخترنا هذه الدروس نظرا لأهميتها للسنين القادمة أو الأعوام القادمة. الجزء الأول. Let's start. Equations in one variable. In equations in one variable topic, we are going to revise two lessons: solving equations with variable on each side and solving absolute value equations. Let's start. Solve the following equation. When you see brackets, you should remember that you need to distribute توزيع. So it will be 10 2 times n 2n plus 2n equals 2n plus 2. And then as you see, negative 2n goes with 2n. We have in this side 10 equals 2n plus 2. And that means if you subtract 2 both sides, 2n is 8, divide by 2, so n is 4 or n is 4. This is the solution. Next, choose the correct answer. Negative x plus 1 equals x plus 1. If you subtract 1 from both sides, we are ending up with negative x equals to x. Combine like terms, you can say negative x minus x is 0, negative 2x equals to 0 is 1, 1. And if you divide, then x is 0. So this is the solution. Which of the following linear equation has no solution? No solution means we end up with two sides, none of them is equal to the other. For example, 3 equal to negative 3, 0 equals to 3, no variables appearing at all. So in this case, we say that there is no solution, or the solution set is phi. Let's check this one. It's very clear here that if you eliminate x here, x there, and subtract x from both sides, you end up with 3 equals to negative 3. So for sure, this is the one that he is looking forward. No solution. What if we need infinitely many solution, or what we call identity? For infinitely many solution, two sides should be copy-paste of each other. And for example, for this choice, this has infinitely many solutions, or you can say identity, because they are identical to each other. Exactly, the right hand side is equal to the left hand side. While for others here, you can solve and you will discover that you will have one solution. X equals to 2, x equals to 3, equals whatever. So in this case, we just remind ourselves of what we have done before. Which of the following linear equation has infinitely many solutions? We just discussed that. This is C. And as you see, if you cancel this with this and this with that, you end up with 0 equals to 0. Solve the below equations in the following questions. Now, if you see a proportion, تناسب, simply you just cross multiply is the best way to solve such proportions. 5, and you should include it in a bracket. X minus 3 is equal to 2 times x. Distribute again. Now take the numbers on one side, the variables to the other side. And this means 3x is 15, divide, and x equals to 5, and this is the solution. Next, we have here 10 minus 5x is, let's distribute. Remember, this is minus 2. Minus 2 times x minus 2x minus 2 times 7 minus 14. Don't forget the minus sign. Let's try to combine terms as much as we can. 3x minus 2x is just x. Negative 12 minus 14 is negative 26. And now we will combine like terms again. Minus 5x and minus x. The 10 goes there, equals negative 26 minus 10. Minus 6x equals minus 36. And this leads to x equals to 6. Done. This is the solution we are looking for. Here again. And this includes the variable on both sides as well, as you see here. Right? 6 times 7x is 42x. 8x minus 42x is equals to negative 34, taking this to the other side. Negative 34x is negative 34. And when you divide, we are ending up with x equals to 1. Again here, practice is just simple practice to the distributive property. Nine x minus x, 8x, 6 minus 4 plus 2. So we have 10x minus 8x is 2 minus 30. So 2x is negative 28. Right or wrong? There is something wrong here. 10x plus 30, 9 plus, oh sorry, this is plus. Yes, there is something wrong. Okay, let's repeat. I forgot. So here 19x plus 36 equals minus x minus 4. We are combining these together. So it's 20x when you bring this here equals to negative 40. And x is negative 2. Yes. Solve alone and check with me. We end up with fraction this time. No worries, we are doing well. And now moving to the absolute value. Remember, what is the absolute value? القيمة المطلقة. Absolute value will be always positive. So if you have any absolute value equals to negative number, directly you can say no solution. But if absolute value is equal to positive number, we have two cases. What is in the absolute value is positive. What is in the absolute value equal to a negative number, and you will solve each negative of that one. And if you have absolute value is equal to 0, then we have one solution. There is no two cases, one case only. Let's check this one. Absolute value on one side equals to a negative number. So without any solving, directly we can say no solution. Here, before judging, before starting, we have to isolate the absolute value alone. So first we will divide by 3 to get rid of the 3, and that means is equal to 10. Since this is positive, then we will have two solutions. Either y plus 6 is 10 or y plus 6 equals to negative 10. Solve each, and you will end up with two solutions mentioned in A. Here you cannot say that this is negative, so no solution. We have to isolate the absolute value first and then start to judge. So we will take the negative 2 first, get rid of the negative and the positive. So we will have 2x plus 3 equals negative 7 plus 2. So we have, this is equal to negative 5. Again, we have negative here, so we will divide by negative 1, and we end up with a positive number. Now we have two cases, either 5 or negative 5, and you will solve each. So x is 1 or x is negative 4. So we have here negative 4 and 1. Two solutions. So when an absolute value equals to a positive number, then you have two solutions, which could be an equation for the graph shown. Actually, you have two choices. Either you solve each one of them, or you use this form, x minus the midpoint between the two solutions equals to the distance from midpoint to endpoint, any endpoint, because it's the midpoint, it will be equidistance from each endpoint. So now, if you look here, this is 7 and this is minus 3. Midpoint will be the sum, yani 7 plus the negative 3 over 2, which is 4 over 2, which is 2. And it is very obvious that 2 is the midpoint. Even you can do it manually. You can just count. And then, what is the distance between 2 and 7? It's 5. So x minus 2 is 5, and this is our solution. Here, let's see what is going on. Here, we can see that the midpoint here is 2. It's very clear that it is, sorry, not 2, 1. So we can write it this way, x minus 1 equals 2. From 1 to 4, the distance is 3, right? Now, we don't have here the exact equation, but we have similar to that. Let's see what will happen if you multiply here by 2. So if you multiply here by 2, you should multiply here by 2. We end up with this one, right? 2x minus 2 equals to 6. So this is correct. If you multiply even, this one is totally different. Because if you multiply here, the midpoint is different here. Here, there is a common factor. So you cannot choose this one. Also, you cannot choose this one as well, because there is no common factor. There is 2 here, 2 here, so you can take out a common factor, and this will be 2x minus 1. For the last one, we have also 5 outside. So if you multiply here by 5, to multiply the 3 by 5, you will obtain also a correct absolute value equation. So we will accept A and E at the same time. Other choice for you, or other option, you can solve it and you can check. At a harbor, the high and low water marks can be found by solving this equation. So what is the highest level? What is the lowest level? So we can solve, of course. Let's solve. So either this equals to the positive value or equals to the negative value, and you will solve, which is 4.5, and if you solve this, it will lead to 1.3. So this will be the lowest and this will be the highest. So water mark high is 4.5, low at 1.3 feet. Simply, it is using the absolute value equation. A game, here a real-life application, geometric. A game designer is creating a computer animation of a rectangle with size that vary in size. The length of the rectangle in centimeters after t seconds is given by the expression 16 minus 2t. So this is the length. The width is given by 1 plus t. After how many seconds is the rectangle a square? So for the rectangle to be a square, المستطيل يصير مربع, we have to have equi length. The length should be equal to the width. That means 16 minus 2t should equal to 1 plus t. and we will solve the equation. So you can say negative 2t minus t is equal to 1 minus 16. So negative 3t is negative 15. And when you divide, this means t is 5. So after 5 seconds, the rectangle becomes a square. A square and the rectangle have same perimeters. مجموع أطوال الأضلاع المحيط نفسه. The length of a side of the square is 4x minus 1. So we have here for the square, the length is 4x minus 1. The length of the rectangle is 2x plus 1 and the width is x plus 2. Right? And solve the equation to find x. They have the same perimeter. So first of all, we will find the perimeter of the square. Since the square has all equal sides, that means the perimeter is 4 times the length, which is 4x minus 1. And this, after distribution, will be 16x minus 4. And for the rectangle perimeter is twice the length plus the width. So we can add the length and the width and multiply the sum by 2. So this will be 3x plus 3, which is 6x plus 6. And since the perimeters are the same, then we have a new equation now. What is the new equation? That the perimeter of the square is equal to the perimeter of the rectangle. So 16x minus 4 is equal to 6x plus 6. Solving, 10x is 10 and x is equal to 1. He's asking for x only. He's not asking for the perimeter. If he asks for the perimeter, then replace x. And that's all. Solving, simple solving. 4x plus 36 is 6x minus 4. Negative 2x is negative 40. So x is 20. Remember, combining like terms. We keep repeating that we need to combine like terms. Identify the term that best describes the equation. For A here, for A, if you push the m here, it will be negative 2m is equal to negative 20. So there will be a solution. Yani m will not disappear. If it disappears, you might have either one solution or no solution. So here, without solving, we can just say it has one solution. While here, if you distribute, you end up with what? 7x plus 5 is 7x plus 35. Take away 7x from both sides, you end up with two sides that are not equal, so we have here no solution. For this exercise, if you distribute 3t plus 6 is equal to 2 plus 3t plus 4. Adding 2 plus 4, 6, so it's 3t plus 6 as well. So we have identical sides, يعني infinitely many solutions. So this one, or the word identity, has the same meaning. A car leaves Abu Dhabi traveling at a speed of 50 miles per hour. 2 hours later, a second car leaves Abu Dhabi traveling at a speed of 60 miles per hour. The car's distance from Abu Dhabi at time t as shown in the table. Yani it is easier for us to know that the time is less 2 hours. So we can now see after how much time t will the two cars be the same distance. Same distance means we have B equals to A. Exactly. So we can say that 60 times t minus 2 is equal to 50t, and as usual, we will distribute. So 10t is 120, and that leads to t is 12. Now let's solve. This is a little bit more advanced question for the absolute value, since we end up with an expression after arranging it. We said that we have to isolate the absolute value. So this will be 2x minus 8 is equal to 4x minus 14. Still, we need to divide by 2. So x minus 8, absolute value is 4x divided by 2 is 2x, minus 14 divided by 2 is minus 7. Now, in this case, we have here an expression, and we will deal with it in the similar way. Yani either x minus 8 is 2x minus 7, or x minus 8 is negative 2x minus 7. Put the negative before the expression, don't forget that. And we will solve as usual. This is one option. The other option, negative 2x plus 7. So x plus 3x is 8 plus 7, 4. So this is x plus 1x here, 2x. So it's 3x. Yes, 3x is 15. So x is 5. Now, since we have an expression here, it's a must to check. You have to check. What do you check? Put the x minus 1 in the original equation. So you replace here. So it will be 2 minus 1 minus 8 plus 14 is equal to 4 minus 1. 2, absolute value of minus 9 plus 14 equals negative 4. Absolute value of negative 9 is 9. 18 plus 14 is negative 4, which is impossible. So this solution will be rejected. Let's check for x equals to 5. Same thing, you put the 5 in the original equation. So go to the original equation, which is 2, and we put the 5 instead of the x in both sides, in each side. Don't forget anything. So 2, absolute value is 20. So 2 times 3 plus 14 is 20. 6 plus 14 is 20. Yes. So this is the only solution. The only solution here, that x equals to 5. One solution only. Though we have 2, but we have to check since we have an expression in the other side. This is also a simple proportion that we can solve easily. Now, inequalities, which is greater than or equal, less than or equal, or less than, linear inequalities only. So this is referring to lesson 6.3, solving compound inequalities. Compound inequalities means inequalities will be combined by either and or. Let's check, and while we are checking, we will revise. True or false? The value 6 is a solution of x is more than minus 4. However, 6 is not a solution of x less than 1. So 6 is not a solution of this inequality. This inequality is read as x more than minus 4 and less than 1 at the same time. For an and inequality, both inequalities should be true. If one of them is false, then this is false. Since 6 is more than minus 4, this is okay, true. And 6 is not a solution. He said, yes, it's not a solution. So his statement is true as well. So this is true and this is true. That means the all message is true. True and true is true. Let's check this one. If a number is a solution of x more than minus 1, so yes, it is a solution of this, but not a solution. Yani this is false. So this is true and this is false. So this number will not be a solution for an AND inequality. We said for an AND inequality, both inequalities should be true. So we end up with a false statement. Solve the below inequalities. Now, for these types of inequalities where a statement is between something and something, directly refer to an AND. And for this setting of equations or inequalities, sorry, it's easier to isolate the x while it's inside here. Yeah, we want the x alone. So what will you do? You just add 6 here and here and there. So it will be negative 30 less than 3x less than negative 9. Also, we need x, remember. So we divide by 3 all sides. So x more than negative 10 less than negative 3. This is the solution. So the solution set will be x such that x is between negative 10 and less than negative 3. And if you want to graph the solution, then this is the minus 10, this is the minus 3. This should be open circle, since there is no equal sign here, it's just more than. And an inequality will be the interval between them. This is the solution. Someone might not like to solve all inequalities at the same time. So what will you do? You should divide your work into negative 36 less than 3x minus 6. The other inequality combined with and is the same 3x minus 6 will be less than negative 15. You will solve each one alone. And this is same thing. So we will put it in this way. X less than, so more than. This is if you read it from the x, you should flip the sign. So it's more than negative 10, so it will be to the right. And it's less than the 3, open the circle, and it will be less than 3, yani to the left. That means the common area is the solution, and it's exactly the same solution that we have obtained in the first approach. Choose the way you like. Now we are combining the inequalities with OR. In OR, we must solve each one separately. So we will solve the first one and the second one. And we will solve the second one. So this will be combining like terms as the equation exactly. So 2x more than or equal to 6. For 5 times 5, so x is more than or equal to 2. Or for that one, for x minus 3x is less than or equal minus 3 minus 4. So it is x less than or equal to minus 7. So we have two inequalities combined by OR. Let's see, this is the smallest, it will be here. Close the circle since there is an equal sign here. And the second one will be 2. And let's check. So x more than or equal to 2, so it is to the right, more r to the right, less than or equal to minus 7, so it will be to the left, and the solution set will be all real numbers x such that x more than or equal to 2 or x less than or equal to minus 7. This is how we find the solution. A kite can flown in wind with speeds no less than 6 kilometers. No less than 6 kilometers mean more than or equal. So the speed will be more than or equal to 6 if we name it as x. And no more, and he said no and no more the same x will be no more than 15. No more than means less than or equal to 15. So we have two inequalities compound by and that means we can put that this speed should be at the same time more than or equal to 6 and less than or equal to the 15. The highest score that is recorded on video game is 10.219, highest. Lowest is 257. Which of the following inequalities best shows the range of scores recorded on the game? It's very obvious that this is the score we need. It's between 257 and 10219 inclusive. Inclusive means we have to put greater than or equal. Let's see this question. Solve 5 less than 1 over 2p plus 3. So it is 5 less than 1 over 2p plus 3 less than 8. How can we solve it? First, get rid of the minus and the plus. So we will subtract 3 everywhere. So it is 2 half p less than 5. Then we get rid of half by multiplying by 2 over 1, which is 2. So we multiply by 2 everywhere. So it's BP 4, 10. So this is the solution. You can divide the inequalities also into two inequalities and combine them, but this is easier. Which graph shows this solution? Same, we want to solve each one separately. And for this one, so x more than or equal to minus 1 and means closed interval less than 4. So this is B. Remember, less than 4 without equal sign, that's why it's open. Here more than or equal, that's why it's closed. And that means it will be this interval for sure. More than or equal. Now let's go to system of linear equations and inequalities. And for this part, we remember that we have studied solving by substitution, elimination by subtraction, and elimination by multiplication. Now remember, for the substitution, one equation will give you the y or the x, the second will take from you the value of y of x, wherever it's easier for you to solve for. Let's describe and correct the error in solving the system of equations mentioned here. We have here, this is the system of equation that we need to solve. So what did he do here? Simply, he has used 5x minus 2y equals to 71. This is the equation. And this is the equation. This is the equation. The second equation, which is this one, has been solved for y. Yani we have isolated the y. And it's easier to isolate for y since y has coefficient of 1. So just take the negative 6 there. So this is true. Yani y equals to 3 plus 6x. The easiest way is this expression to go here. Yani equation 2 will give to equation 1. And this is exactly what we are going to do. So in this equation, it should be like this. 5x minus 2. I'll take the value of y that I have solved for here and replace and copy the rest of the equation. Now, so this step is also correct. This is done properly. But what's next? If you notice that you should distribute the negative 2 over the 3, so it's negative 6, and the negative 2 over the 6x, so it will be negative 12x. Unfortunately, he missed this one. This is wrong, and this is one of the common mistakes that students usually do. And that means we should continue in the right way. So everything else will depend on this mistake. So we will now combine 5x minus 12x, negative 7 x, and this will be 71 plus 6, so negative 7x is 77, dividing by negative 7, so x is negative 11. Okay, and this is the value of x. Now, to obtain the solution, we need to solve for x and y. We have one solution, so we need to replace. The best equation to replace, and you are free to choose any equation, but be smart to choose the best one. Since we have already solved for y as y equals 3 plus 6x, then you can choose this equation and replace the negative 11 here. And this leads to y is 3 minus 66, which is negative 63. And that means the solution is ordered per negative 11 and negative 63. Any solution should include x coordinate and y coordinate. Determine whether the system has no solution, one solution, or infinitely many solutions. We have two approaches to do that, either by slope or solving the equation. We prefer to solve the equation in this case. As you see here, we have the equations written in standard form. And since this is written in standard form already, compare and let's see which variable is easily eliminated. If you multiply this equation by 3, then this leads to negative 3x plus 3y. Remember, you need to distribute everything equals to negative 15. The second equation will go down as it is. What happened here? Easily, you can notice that this is negative 3x and this is 3x. So we will add to eliminate the x. And this will be 8y equals to 0. And then y equals to 0. As I told you just now, you need to replace. Choose any equation to replace. If you choose the first one, which is negative x plus y equals to negative 5, then replace the y by the 0. So this is negative x is negative 5, and this means x equals to 5 by dividing all sides or both sides by negative 1. And that means the solution is 5 and 0. One solution. So we didn't answer here. Yes, one solution. Remember, if the variables totally disappear, no x, no y, you should compare the sides. So you'll have either no solution or infinitely many solution or identity. Which expression could be substituted for x in the second equation to find the value of y? Of course, here x is easy to isolate, so it will be x is 20 minus 20y, which is this one. That's it. Don't solve. Just look at the answer. This is the value of x that will be replaced in the second equation. Supplementary angles are two angles that have measures with sum of 180. We should all know that. Angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. So we'll assume that angle 1 is x, angle 2 is y, let's say. So what will we say? They are supplementary, so x plus y is equal to 180 degrees. The measure of angle 2, yani 2y, angle 2 which is y, is equal 3 degrees more than, so 3 plus, twice the measure of angle 1, 2 times angle 1, which is x. Now we have two equations to be solved. So what to do? This equation is ready to give, as you see, y is already isolated. So I will take this expression and replace it in the first equation. So let's see, x plus the 3 plus 2y, this one, the value that I have replaced, equals to 180. Simply just add so 2x, this just add like terms. So x plus 2x is 3x. So 3x is 177, and when you divide by 3, it leads to x is 59. But x is what? Measure of angle 1. So this angle, measure of angle 1 is 59. The second one, simply either you replace in this equation Or simply you do measure of angle 2 is 180 minus 59, which is 121 degrees. So we have found both angles easily. Select all of the ways this system of equation can be solved. We have here equation 1, equation 2. If you multiply the first equation by -4, what happened? Let's see. And here, multiply the whole equation, so it will be -24x plus 4y equals to -36. Now what happened? 3x, this is the second equation. Look carefully, what happened? We have here reached to 4y and -4y, يعني opposites. That means the variable y will be eliminated by addition. So what he said, we will multiply, then add the equation. Yes, it is a good approach. It can be acceptable. Now, let's repeat the procedure for the second one. For the second approach, he said, if you multiply the second equation by 2, so this one I multiplied by 2, so we end up 6x minus 8y equals -36. Copying the first equation, what will happen? We end up with exactly same coefficients for x, and it will not be eliminated unless we subtract. Did he mention that? Yes. Multiply by 2, then subtract. So this is a good approach as well. Let's see C, part C. Multiply the first equation by 2, which is the same as what he did here, then add. Of course, it will not work. Yani we will, if you add, you will not eliminate anything here. So this is not true. D, multiply the second equation by 2, then add the equations. If you multiply the second equation by 2, this is the one that we have. It will not work as well. You can try. The last one will be good. Multiply the first equation by 4, then subtract the equation. Yes, you can try it. If you multiply the first equation by 4, this will be 24x minus 4y equals 36. So the second one is 3x minus 4y. I'm just copying it. As you see, we end up with exactly the same coefficient, so we will get rid of y by subtracting. Remember, if they are opposites, we add. If they are exactly the same, we subtract. So we have here 3 approaches that are correct. Which order best satisfy the system? You have 2 solutions, or 2 approaches actually. Either you replace x, y in each equation here, and you should have them both leading to the correct equations, correct equalities. The other approach is to solve, which I prefer. So let's solve by elimination. Remember, this is 2x. Remember, put the x under the x, y under the y. Don't be just in a hurry. If I multiply the first equation by 2, then this will be by 3. Let's try by 3 also. You will see why I'm choosing 3. It will be 3x minus 3y equals to 6, while the second equation remains the same. In this case, we have here -3y and positive 3y, so we can add to get rid of y. So it will be 5x, this eliminate, and x is 3. X is 3 is existing here and there, so you need to replace to find the y. So let's choose equation 1. Equation 1 is x minus y is 2. So I will replace the x by the 3, taking there. So negative y is -1, so y is 1. That means the solution is this one, B. If you feel that it is difficult for you to just solve without knowing the concept itself, you can refer to the lessons. All the lessons are in the YouTube channel. Which of the following system of equation has exactly one solution? Actually, here it's easy to solve by substitution. This is the first equation. This is the second equation. Since both are ready to be solved, then you can simply say that this is equal to that. You can replace this here or the other way. So it will be 2x plus 4 equals 2x plus 7. Simply, you end up with 4 equals to 7 means no solution. So the first one has no solution. But while here, if you divide everything by 2, try to simplify whenever possible, the second one will be 4x plus 2. Put the 4x there. So this will be 2x plus 3 is equal to 4x plus 2. It's very obvious that you are not eliminating the x. If you solve, you will have one solution. So no need to solve. Directly you stop here and that's all. Let's check the c, by the way. This will be y equals 2x plus 4. For this equation, it will be y minus 2x is 4, and you push the equation there, so it will be 2x plus 4. That means we have the same equations exactly. That means infinitely many solutions. So here in this question, we revised all the possibilities, but the answer is B, only one solution. Solve using any method of your choice. You will decide. For this question, you can simply multiply this by 2, or you can multiply the second equation by 3. If you need my advice and you don't know what to do, simply you can just choose any variable you want to eliminate. Let's say we want to eliminate the y. The coefficient of y here is -1. So you can just take this equation and multiply it by 1, which means you will leave it the same. It will be 2x plus 3y equals to 11. You take this coefficient and multiply it in the second equation. So this will be 12x minus 3y equals to 45. We end up with equations with same coefficients or opposites. In this case, we have 3y and negative 3y, so we will add to eliminate the y. And when you divide 56 divided by 4, x is 14, right? We have done it, 2x plus 3y, and here 12x minus 3y is 45. Okay. Yes, so 56 is 14, and then when you replace, take any equation to replace. So 2, I'll take the first one, times 14 plus 3y is 11. 28 plus 3y is 11. 3y is, there is something wrong. It's 4. I think I have missed something. Let's repeat it again. I'm sorry for that, this mess. Let's repeat. Again, I will keep the first equation the same. The second equation will be multiplied by the 3. So it will be 12x minus 3y is equal to 45. Now let's add. This will be 14x equals to 11 plus 45. And we will divide by 14. So x is 4. Yes, this is the mistake we have done. Now replace in equation 1. So 2 times 4 plus 3y equals to 11. So the solution is 4 and 1. I have used elimination. Here, actually, we can simplify. Everything can be divided by 2. So this will be 3x plus 3y equals 2. While the first equation is 3x plus 3y equals to 2. As you see, they are exactly the same, so the solution is all real numbers, or you can say infinitely many solutions. It's better, infinitely many solutions. Try to simplify whenever possible, but here we cannot. Okay, if you multiply this equation by 2, you can say that this will be 8x minus 4y equals to 2. Well, the second equation, keep it the same. And if you subtract to get rid of x or y, whatever, this end up with 0, 0 equals 2 minus 1 is 1. So this leads to no solution since these sides are not equal. No solution. And we can say phi infinity, no solution. So we will stop here, and then inshallah we will continue in part 2. See you then. وإلى اللقاء.